Welcome back. Every Thursday right here on News 9 at 9, we go in depth with the Oklahoma City Police Chief, Wade Gourley.
There's been some disagreement between Oklahoma City Police and the Oklahoma County Jail over who is responsible for paying to house inmates each day. Our Lisa Monahan is asking the chief about his perspective.
Every week, we chat with Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley about issues facing our city. And this week, we're talking about the Oklahoma County Jail and the relationship with Oklahoma City Police. It is where most people arrested in the city end up. Can you talk about how the city and the jail trust split the cost?
So that's something I'm glad you brought up that a lot of people don't understand. When Oklahoma City shut down their jail back in the 90s, we entered into a contract with the Oklahoma County Jail to house our city prisoners. And that's where the charges come from, is since we don't operate a city jail facility like a lot of other cities do, we contract with them. So when we arrest someone on a city charge only, then the jail houses them for us and they charge us a fee for doing that so that we don't have to operate our own jail.
There seems to be some conflict between the city and the jail on who is paying for what. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
I don't know if it's conflict as much as confusion, I think is a better word. I think some of the folks that are involved in this process believe that every person that we arrest as the Oklahoma City Police Department, we should be charged for that. And so the statutes are very clear on counties that operate a jail, charges that are filed in that county, the jail is required to house those prisoners as part of that. And so the only thing that we contract for is, again, those city prisoners. So if we arrest somebody on a city charge of driving under the influence or assault and battery, something like that, and there's no other state charges or nothing that goes with that, that's a city charge, and that's the what we're supposed to be charged for when that goes into effect.
So I know it was just at the end of the fiscal year, the city provided about $500,000. What was that money for? That
was for the services provided by the jail for those city prisoners to process them. Also, too, I believe they charge us a fee for statutorily people that are arrested on certain charges have to have DNA swabs, and so they provide charges for that. And so that's what that $500,000 covered was those city arrests and those other processing things and other things that go with those.
So is the city working with the jail right now to come to some sort of conclusion on all of this?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't consulted at all. When I saw that article in the paper, that's the first I had heard of that. One of the things, too, that I think doesn't get factored into this because of staffing issues and other things at the jail, we've had to put officers on overtime assignment over there so I can keep my officers on the street. And I believe at last check, we've spent around $200,000, I think, in overtime, providing those officers just so my officers are not tied up for hours at the jail and we can be out responding to calls. So there's a lot more to that. It's very complicated. I hate that there was something in the paper in an article that was written before we even had a chance to review anything or look at what those are. But we'll continue to work with the trust and we'll figure it out.
Hopefully there's some resolution. Thank you, Chief, for the insight. If you have a question for the Chief, send us an email at chatwiththechief@griffin.news and we'll get you some answers.